Welcome in, everyone. This is a different sort of video for me, but I thought I should pass along some information in regards to the Six Flags passes that hasn't gotten much coverage. The new Six Flags, which is basically Cedar Fair, have been working recently on getting everything over onto a single system. The process is having some issues, which was probably unavoidable, but it's understandable why they would want to stop running two different systems. I'm going to share with you what happened with my season pass recently, as the new system apparently started rolling out sometime in early November. The problems I have had are not going to happen to everyone, but it has been happening to many people. My Prestige Pass is from a Legacy Six Flags park, Frontier City, with the All Parks Passport, All Parks Dining, and Soft Drink Plan. The dining and drinks would not be valid at Legacy Cedar Fair parks until 2026. And through my first couple months with the pass, everything worked perfect. The pass got me parking and admission to Worlds of Fun, but being a Cedar Fair park, dining and drinks didn't work yet. In late September, everything worked at both Six Flags Over Texas and Fiesta Texas, including the dining and drinks. Fast forward to November 15th and 16th at Six Flags Over Georgia, and nothing was working. It felt like my pass had been eliminated in its entirety. On the first day, I explained what I had bought at the parking gate, and they waved me through. Then for admission, I was waved right in after scanning my pass, with it seeming to have worked. However, on the second day, I was stopped at admission and told to go to guest services. They did take care of me on the day, giving me a complimentary day ticket to get in, but that was not a permanent solution. In fairness to those staff, this was a new problem, and they probably were not too aware of what was going on or how to fix it permanently. My dining and drink plans were obviously not working, so on the first day I went to guest relations inside the park and they printed me out meal tickets for the day. On the second day, they didn't do that, telling me that my dining plan wouldn't work there until 2026. I knew that wasn't true since it was working just fine at Six Flags Over Texas and Fiesta Texas. But I just let it go since I wouldn't be there for too long that day. I was still using my 2025 drink bottle, and when I went to fill it up in the pizza place, I noticed a man who was having issues with his dining plan, and those staff worked with him on it. So without anyone in line, I asked about mine, and their supervisor told me that there have been issues recently, and as I explained my situation, she did give me a pizza and breadstick meal. So that was nice that the Six Flags Over Georgia staff worked with me to at least get me through that visit without feeling too cheated. But this process that corporate did was leaving a mess in its wake, and they just decided that it would be up to the staff at each park to deal with the fallout. It's not the first time that I've dealt with issues like this from the old Cedar Fair. 3 times in the past, I've done their all parks dining and drinks plan, and while it usually would work at their parks, there were many times that it wouldn't. I had it not work at all at California's Great America, and at Cedar Point, the drink plan would only allow me 1 cup per day, no more. They tend to have issues with their passes and add-ons at times. Meanwhile, the old Six Flags were absolutely perfect at all times. Passes, dining, all parks flash pass, everything would always work 100% of the time at every single park for me over the almost decade that I had passes with Six Flags. It is one area that Six Flags destroyed Cedar Fair in. That, in addition to not having assigned seating on almost all their coasters. Unfortunately, we are now seeing assigned seating and even Japan-level strict assigned seating invading Legacy Six Flags parks. And we're now seeing problems with season passes and add-ons there as well. That's the problem with Cedar Fair basically being in charge of Six Flags. 3 weeks after my visit to Six Flags Over Georgia, I was back at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and once again, my pass wasn't working. I had a printout of my season pass purchase and all the add-ons since I figured this would happen. At the parking gate, they wouldn't wave me in. They told me that I would have to purchase parking, then go to guest services to get a refund. I didn't like that at all, and I went a little Karen in the moment. I don't like being like that, but it was hard to control it in the moment. After some reassurances from the staff and their understanding about what I was feeling, I just sucked it up and bought the parking, never thinking to tell them that I was attending the ACE event, which included free parking for everyone. That part was on me. I could have saved the step of getting the refund, but I still needed to go to guest services for my pass. While there, they processed my refund and it posted to my credit card the same day, so no problems there. They also worked to get my pass working right permanently instead of just taking care of me for the day. Inside the park, my dining plan did indeed work. Since I still had my drink cup, I didn't test the paper cup drink plan. Still, my drink cup wasn't scanning right, so Cedar Fair messed that up too. But the staff saw it was a 2025 cup and they would let me get a refill. On my second day at the park, I had no issues at all with parking, admission, or my one meal that I had time for. I'm hoping that it will now work at all other parks and that I won't have to go through guest services everywhere. But I do appreciate what Fiesta Texas did to try to solve the problem permanently. And it wasn't only me, there were numerous other people having the same issues. The people behind me in the guest services line got their passes through Schlitterbahn, and nothing was working for them either. Later on that first day, my friend's mom was unable to get into the park with her pass. So this has been a problem for many people, whether they are at their home park or not. Some season passes didn't transfer over when Cedar Fair made these switches. It is possible that all passes would switch over eventually, but if your pass didn't switch over and you visit a park before it does, then the pass will not work there. Again, Cedar Fair is just leaving it to the staff at each park to deal with the fallout of this. If this happens to you, please show grace to the staff, as I'm sure they are frustrated with this as well. They don't want you to have to be dealing with this. Again, this didn't happen to everyone. It seems that most people had their passes switch over just fine, but there's enough passes that didn't switch over that it sounds like there are long lines of people going to guest services with this problem. My friend's mom was showing up late to take in the Last Majesty of Christmas show, but she didn't anticipate having season pass issues. And then there was a huge line at guest services, and she had no chance of making it into the park in time. So I would highly recommend that if you haven't made a park visit since October, just be prepared for this possibility. You may want to show up early just in case, so that you have time to go to guest services before they get a very long line. Like I said, this may have been an unavoidable problem as they merged the systems into one. However, I cannot help but feel that if the old Six Flags was in charge, this would have worked perfectly smooth and everybody's passes would have been transferred over perfectly immediately. But as it is now, you may be having some issues, but I'm hoping that it will all take care of itself in time and that everything will eventually transfer over. So I just wanted to let you all be informed of what's been going on and what you may possibly be dealing with. Thank you all for watching and have a Cedar Fair day.